Well, in New Jersey, police were tipped off to a gruesome scene overnight at a nursing home ravaged by coronavirus. Police now say they found 17 bodies piled inside a small morgue at the Andover Subacute and Rehabilitation Center in Sussex County. An anonymous tip said the bodies had been moved there after being stored in a shed. 68 people have died inside the senior facility alone, 26 of whom tested positive for the virus. 2 of those deaths were staff members. This morning, China is weighing in on reports that the coronavirus may have originated in a Chinese laboratory. You've probably heard that. China's foreign ministry spokesman cites the World Health Organization's new findings that there is no evidence that COVID-19 was made in a lab. The source of the virus still remains a mystery. President Trump said the U.S. government is investigating the source. The chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff said on Tuesday that U.S. intelligence indicates the coronavirus likely occurred naturally. Mimi.
Let's take a live look at what's in store for the U.S. markets today. Right now, Dow futures are up about 34 points during the night. The futures really turned around, pointing to gains, even though some dire unemployment numbers are expected to be released this morning. We'll have that for you as soon as we get that Labor Department report. It is expected to show another 5 million people filed for unemployment. That brings the total to 22 million jobless claims in just 1 month. Out of cash, government officials say the fund for small business loans is about to run empty, and Congress can't agree on how to replenish it. Tracy Potts has the latest on that, plus the plan to reopen America for business revealed today.
50 state governors on a call with President Trump today, deciding when and how to reopen the country for business.
We'll be opening up states, some states much sooner than others. And we think some of the states can actually open up before the deadline of May 1st.
According to a draft plan, regions in recovery from COVID-19 would start scaling back social distancing in 2 weeks, reopening childcare and schools, while hotspots wait till at least June.
We have the right to do whatever we want, but we wouldn't do that.
We are the ones who are going to determine when it is right to open up economies within our states.
Michigan's governor is facing protests from people who want to go back to work.
Putting all of these workers out of business is it's a disaster.
While others argue it's too soon.
I don't understand why they would even consider it.
We got to open this economy. If we don't, it's going to collapse.
The Trump administration says it processed 14 years worth of small business loans in 14 days. Now the money's almost gone. Replenishing the Paycheck Protection Program still in limbo. Democrats insist on adding funds for hospitals, food stamps, state and local governments.
But we cannot do it by ossifying the lack of access to credit for smaller businesses in our country.
Capitol Hill is nearly empty with just a few leaders here keeping things going. And President Trump wants to use a provision in the Constitution that's never been used before to adjourn Congress so he can appoint more than 100 vacancies. The Senate's top Republican not on board with that. Tracy Potts, NBC News.
3 executives from Seattle area companies are joining the White House to help revive the economy. They are Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos, Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella, and Starbucks CEO Kevin Johnson. They're among the 200-plus members representing dozens of sectors who are helping to address the economic impact of the coronavirus outbreak. Governor Jay Inslee says our state is seeing what he calls enormous compliance with his stay-home order, but it doesn't sound like he's going to lift restrictions anytime soon. He praised Washingtonians yesterday, saying the state is seeing success with social distancing, but he was quick to add we're not close to reducing those measures.
Usually when you let up on a pedal of a car, you slow down. That's not what happens in this case. If you let off the pedal of social distancing, you go backwards and fatalities increase. We cannot accept that. We are a better state than seeing more people die in our state because we gave up a few weeks early until we got the job done.
Governor Inslee says once the state sees a drop in cases and deaths, then we can talk about scaling back orders.
A lot of people waiting, Mimi, to hear about that new order potentially. Well, a veterans home in Spokane is now dealing with a growing coronavirus outbreak. At least 19 positive cases and 1 death so far this morning. According to the Washington State Department of Veteran Affairs, all the cases are from the same floor of the facility. Officials are waiting on test results from another 29 residents and are all working to test every employee. The University of Washington Virology Lab announced it may soon be able to offer thousands of antibody tests every day. Those tests would let people know if they have had the virus. Researchers want to know if having antibodies means a person has long-term immunity to coronavirus. Another way people can protect themselves is through contact tracing. That is the way that people who have the virus can be separated from those who don't. King 5's Tony Black explains why it works and why it's so important.
It goes like this. Health officials gather information about all of the people the person infected with coronavirus was around. Then, depending on how high risk the contact was, they have those contacts self-monitor, isolate, or get tested. Some states are now recruiting people to solely contact trace. Apple and Google announced they intend to partner up to create tools to make contact tracing available through an app. The companies say each health department will have to create the app themselves. I asked King County Public Health if they were making an app, but was told that they would have to get back to me. And I spoke with one app designer who says privacy would be one of the biggest obstacles of creating the app. Apple and Google say privacy would be paramount, and the tools wouldn't allow the apps to identify particular people, but would make it possible for public health officials to contact people who may have been exposed. People would also have to opt in to the services. Health officials say more widespread testing is needed for any digital version of contact tracing to be effective, and that physical distancing is still the most effective tool to combat the virus. Tony Black, King 5 News.
Swedish has infused its first 2 patients this week with plasma. Now they're looking to collect more. They are teaming up with Bloodworks Northwest to expand the collection of plasma donations from recovered patients for a potential use for a treatment of COVID-19. The clinical trial is led by the Mayo Clinic and was authorized by the FDA. Patients who have recovered from coronavirus have developed antibodies that provide immunity. The antibodies in their plasma can be used to develop medical treatments for the disease. This technique is commonly used to battle other diseases like measles and the flu.